So day 1 of the Pokemon World Championships has come to an end, so I thought I'd look at 5 of the coolest teams that made it to day 2 through day 1. And honestly, you're going to want to stick around for number 4 and 5. So firstly, we have Zackary Thornberg's team, and the things that stuck out to me were the Talonflame and the Dragonite, but also a Screamtail. Now, Screamtail can do Encore Disable stuff, which is just really annoying to play around. Talonflame threatens a lot of damage whilst also having priority Tailwind, and pairs very well with the Chien-Pao. And you know what else pairs well with the Chien-Pao? This Dragonite. Dragonite Chien-Pao has obviously been very popular since Reg C, but in this regulation, it's not been that good. This Dragonite also has Safeguard, which I find very interesting. And the Grimmstyle has Misty Terrain, so he's very wary of like spores and stuff. And he's gone with the Iron Defense Zamazenta instead of the Wide Guard, which I think actually makes sense on this team. This team probably doesn't need Wide Guard as much, but it can buy turns for the Zamazenta more often. And next we've got Diego Ferreira's team, which is a very cool hard Trick Room team. And he managed to go 8-0 in day 1, so he is still undefeated with this team. And the things that stand out to me is the Gallade. Now Gallade I haven't really seen since Psy-Spam in Regulation F, but it is the Psychic Seed instead of a normal Clear Amulet, deciding he wanted more bulk. And talking about wanting more bulk, he's also got Assault Vest on his Torkoal, which is very weird. Like, this is just a very bulky team. He's also got Imprison on his Calyrex-Ice, deciding that he doesn't want Protect, he wants to be able to stop people reversing his Trick Room, and he always wants to win the Calyrex-Ice Mirror, which is such a weird choice, but it's really worked out for him. He's also got Earthquake on an Ursaluda with nothing else on the team being able to protect. Taunt on his Ogerpon, which I really like on this sort of team because it helps against like Amoonguss and stuff. Heal Pulse on the EDD just to keep his team healthier, which could help him set him out of Trick Room, help him do more with Eruptions, just help him win the game basically. Like, the team is 3 Trick Room Pokemon, 2 Follow Me Pokemon, and then just a lot of damage in Trick Room, and I really just love the look of it, and I can't believe that this team went 8-0. Very impressive by Diego. And next we've got this, and if you're looking at it at a glance, you're probably thinking, oh, there's nothing that unique on this, but that's because you thought that was an Iron Hands. That's not an Iron Hands, that's a Flesh Hands. This guy brought Hariyama to the World Championships when Iron Hands existed, and he made day 2. I personally thought Iron Hands' niche would probably be like Flame Orb Guts on a hard Trick Room team. But this guy decided to run Rocky Helmet, Wide Guard, Tera fighting close combat. He's also running a Groudon, which is one of the lesser used restricteds. I believe there's only 3 in day 2. The rest of the team looks fairly standard, but the Hariyama just really stands out to me, especially with the Rocky Helmet. And now we've got 2 of the coolest teams in the World Championships. So firstly, we've got another Groudon, but it is not the star of the show. There's an Altaria. This guy decided, I want to run Gravity with Groudon. So what else can I run with it? Ooh, Hypnosis or Sing. I'm going to run Altaria of all things. I don't know if I've ever seen Altaria in competitive Pokemon before, let alone this format where there's so many busted Pokemon, but this person deciding he wants to run Altaria. And there's so many cool choices on this team. So firstly, it's a Gravity team with Skill Swap of the Sableye, so he could lead like Sableye Altaria, turn 1 Gravity Sing something, and then Skill Swap himself, and then he's got Priority Sings, Priority Roosts, Priority Tailwinds. That's so cool. He's also a Life Orb Groudon instead of a Clear Amulet one, deciding he wants to do more damage. He's not that scared of Intimidate. He's got Chi-Yu Fluttermane, which is fairly standard, but he's got Hex instead of Shadow Ball on the Fluttermane, so he can do more damage to things that are asleep. And on the Chi-Yu, he's got Fire Blast, because he doesn't have to worry about accuracy when he's got Gravity up. And indeed, he's just there to sort of fix the rest of the team. Follow Me and Psychic Terrain in one Pokemon, really good on this sort of team. I can't believe that this team is even at the World Championships, let alone in day 2. And then finally, what I think the coolest team that made day 2 of the World Championships is Daniel Walker's team. I honestly don't know where to start with this team. Maybe the Psy-Spam mode. Instead of running with normal expanding force users like Iron Crown, Armarouge, Hatterene, this guy went Slowking! Slowking with Scald, Grass Knot, Trick Room and Expanding Force, and a Life Orb. I don't know what to think of his Slowking. Why did he decide to run it? But it's worked out. I guess it has Scald, so it can make the most of the rain as well. Grass Knot can hit water types, especially like Kyogre, it resists water, and it has the Regenerator, meaning switching it out is still quite powerful. But there's still so many other cool things on this team. Choice Scarf Kyogre, which we were seeing a little bit more before Worlds, but is really cool when paired with the Side Spam mode because you have to cover for both. You could easily lead like Kyogre in DD, start like helping her water spouting, and then when Kyogre's about to go down, you set up Trick Room and suddenly you're spamming Expanded Force in Trick Room. The team's also got Smeargle that has Shed Tail. Now Shed Tail, you lose 50% of your HP, but you set up a substitute and switch out, and whatever you switch into gets the substitute, which is really cool on this sort of team. It's a really cool move to run on Smeargle, and I really like it, and I think it probably pairs best with this Baxcalibur. This Baxcalibur isn't the normal Clear Amulet one, it's loaded dice, so Icicle Spear and Scale Shot will hit 4 to 5 times. The 50% chance to have a 125 base power move is kind of insane, and he's got the Swords Dance to just make it do more damage. I can just imagine him setting up a Shed Tail for his Baxcalibur, setting up a Swords Dance, and then just spamming Scale Shot, and just winning the game with your +2 Baxcalibur behind a sub that's boosting his speed with Scale Shot. But there's one more Pokemon we need to talk about, and that's this Weezing. Now Galarian Weezing, usually you run support moves on it like a Taunt, or Toxic Spikes, or Poison Gas, or stuff like that. No. This guy wanted to run Assault Vest. Assault Vest Terra Normal, with Gunk Shot, Play Rough, Assurance, and Explosion. So a very interesting thing about this is the Assurance, because that almost definitely forces stuff like Calyrex Shadow to Terra. But if they're Terra Fairy, now they're weak to Gunk Shot. And if they're Terra Dark, which we saw a lot of as well, now they're weak to Play Rough. So that's a very interesting Calyrex Shadow answer. Also, Gunk Shot is very good into Rillabooms, which stuff like Psychic Terrain and your Kyogre doesn't like. But he's also got Terra Normal Explosion. And that's cool enough as it is. And then you realise, this team has one Protect. This man is running Terra Normal Explosion, and he can do it next to one of his Pokemon. I guess he can do it next to his Smeargle as well. Maybe that's a combination he does, is he goes like Smeargle, Weezing, he Terras the Smeargle Explosions, Shed Tails. But Terra Normal Explosion with one Protect is actually insane. And this man made day 2. I want to see this team on stream. I just want to see how he plays it, because it doesn't make sense in my brain how this team works. But it's so cool. Anyway, let me know what you think of these teams, and if you think I missed any of the other standout teams that made day 2. And if you did enjoy this video, please like, comment, subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later. But if you do, I will cry.